Yo, what is going on, my fellow anime and manga nerds? Welcome back to Calvary's Cave, and today we're going to be taking a look at Deluxe Edition Volume 12. And to be honest, I don't think I have much to say about this volume. We kick off straight into the chaos with Emperor Ganishka going full apocalypse mode on the city. From a distance, it looks absolutely insane. One of those moments that just hits different. You can't help but sit there thinking, man, a proper anime adaptation of this would be straight up legendary. No cheap CGI that ruins the vibe, just raw, detailed panels breathing life into the destruction. Miura really cooked with the scale here. The way he draws these massive battles makes you feel tiny next to the sheer madness unfolding. The new Band of the Hawk throwing down against the Kushan Empire? Peak warfare. It delivers on every level. Brutal, strategic, and visually wild. And of course, we get more Zod screen time, which at this point is just fan service, though I can't say I'm necessarily complaining. Every single time that walking war crime shows up, it's a guaranteed good time. Then you got Silent and the Bakiraka clan watching everything from the sidelines. Bro looks incredibly shocked. It's pretty subtle, but it does add this nice layer of uncertainty about where Silent is going in the story. And now for the part that felt a little bit off to me, and that was the regular humans reacting to the demons helping them in the final battle. Everyone in the background is basically like, yo, what are those? Which is a fair reaction. But then Sonya drops this big inspirational speech. Oh, who cares if they're demons? Look, they're dying for you. And then suddenly the whole crowd is like, oh, say less. I didn't know they were chill like that. I get that this is what kicks off the Fantasia Arc, but the lack of real pushback felt rushed to me. Like one brave speech and a heroic act and boom, humanity suddenly chill with hanging out with these war demons. I'd expect way more freak out, arguments, or at least some lingering side eye, and it wrapped up a bit too cleanly for my taste. Still massive finale energy overall. Miura knows how to paint these epic clashes while sneaking in those character beats that keep you thinking. We get more time with that one archer dude in his full apostle transformation, and man, it is so crispy. Miura's creativity is operating on another level. These designs feel so original that you're low-key convinced that you could stumble into this world yourself. There's no recycled fantasy designs, just pure imagination. The arc itself ends quicker than I expected. And like I said last time, that cliffhanger was absolutely diabolical, knowing how close we were to the finish line, but the payoff is totally worth it. Things are looking rough for the new Band of the Hawk, but then Griffith pulls up on Zod like it's nothing, riding straight up to Ganishka's massive head. The aura farming is actually insane. The Dread Emperor takes one look and already knows that he's cooked. He drops his backstory right before the end, and honestly, it was kind of mid. I didn't really vibe with Ganishka as a character, but it did push the plot forward, so it's whatever. Then Griffith transforms into Femto right on top of him, and the imagery is so sick. And out of nowhere, the Skeleton Knight shows up after being MIA for basically an entire book. He whips out the Behelit sword that he's been cooking and swings for the fences on Femto. And then came the plot twist. The God Hand was actually counting on this. They needed an anomaly like the Skeleton Knight to make their move. Femto grabs the dimensional rift and uses it to delete Ganishka. If Homeboy hadn't jumped in, I'm not even sure what Griffith's backup plan was, but it feels like they baited him perfectly. Dude thought he was cooking, but he just handed Griffith the keys to the new world. Ganishka's body starts crumbling, and then this blinding light hits, and it's not the sun, it's just kind of like a nuke, basically. And this light swallows everything. Everyone on the boat feels it, especially Guts. Bro's probably having the worst neck pain right now. And the astral plane merges with the physical world in this wild eclipse-looking sequence. The whole planet flips upside down. Miura basically said, bet, and now he can do whatever he wants with Fantasia. All of these wild creatures, and the God Hand fully walking around in the real world now. It's unhinged in the best way. And then Griffith snaps his fingers and pulls Falconia out of thin air like it's nothing. Everyone immediately starts treating it like the new hotspot. Oh cool, there's a magic city that just appeared? Bet, let's move in. Same issue as before. The acceptance feels a little too smooth. One big spectacle and humanity's already packing bags for Griffith's dream kingdom. I'm already waiting for the pushback because this can't stay this clean forever. And that is where the Fantasia arc officially starts. But then the momentum takes a weird detour. We cut straight over to Guts and the crew after that world-shaking event. Business as usual on the boat. Some light comedy beats to ease us in, with which was honestly welcome after the end of the Millennium Falcon arc. Everyone's aware something massive went down a couple of days ago. But since they're out at sea, the full Fantasia weirdness hasn't slapped them in the face yet. And then the pirate plot begins. And I gotta say, it overstays its welcome. I actually did like the pirate characters for a hot second. We get these fresh faces, a decent vibe, but we get an extended scrap in Vertanis, another one on the open seas, and after Fantasia hits, they're all possessed by the sea god presence, and it just keeps going. They land on an island, pirate related. Wrap up the arc and head for the big bad? Surprise, surprise, pirate related. It started feeling like filler that ate the entire volume. I was already tired of the trolls back at the beginning of the Millennium Falcon arc, but this dragged on even harder. Multiple rematches with the same crew just to pad things out, and by the end, the sea god basically yeets the main pirate dude out of existence by turning him into one of his whiskers. Not Guts, not the crew. The big bad of the side plot gets handled immediately by the monster that took him over. The end. So what was the point? An entire book of spinning wheels, repeated fights, and the zero real payoff for our main cast. It undercut the tension instead of building it. And after the insane high that we got from the end of the Millennium Falcon arc, this section really felt sluggish when the story could have been diving deeper into the world's rules or Guts' crew reacting to the changed reality. Pacing wise, it's one of those stretches where Miura's love for big set pieces runs a little bit too long. The creativity is still there with the sea god stuff, but the repetition made it tough to stay locked into the actual story. I'm hoping that once this wraps up, we'll get back to the real meat and potatoes of what's going on with the Fantasia arc. But hey, I could be totally off base here. I felt the exact same drag at the beginning of the Conviction arc with Jill's little side plot, but that side story actually added a couple of extra layers to the story. So maybe this pirate saga will hit different by the time it concludes. On the brighter side, the crew dynamics are evolving in fun ways. Azan's fully back now. He went from a stowaway to straight up swinging with the team like he's always been there, and seeing him in action again, peak fan service. The Berserker armor situation though, it's kind of starting to loop. We keep getting the same beats. Oh, Guts, don't use it, followed by, okay, but maybe you need to use it, just don't lose yourself. Shiraka hopping on his back to pull him from the edge every time. It's been copy and paste across multiple deluxe volumes now, and the progression kind of feels frozen. I get that it's a core struggle, but it's hitting that point where you're waiting for the armor to force some real, irreversible change or a new workaround instead of the rinse and repeat tension. Meanwhile, Farnese is low-key breaking the game. She communicates with the gods and throws up a powerful barrier on her first try. If this actually does tie into her royal bloodline, which would also explain why Serpico's got that natural talent for the magic arts, it would make total sense. The story seems to be setting them up as these prodigies in the new Fantasia world. It's really cool watching her growth, but it does raise the question of balance. She's accelerating way faster than the rest of the crew. I'm hoping this royal lineage angle pays off for Frederico too, because right now his character still feels like he's stuck in neutral. If the bloodline is carrying that much potential, it'd be nice to see it explored beyond just Farnese and Serpico. The full moon drops and suddenly the mystery kid's back on duty. Whenever there's that glow in the sky, this little one shows up to yank Guts out of Berserk mode like a reset button. It's a clutch save every time, but I'm trying to figure out what the end game is here. If it's strictly during the full moon, then what's the point? Unless it's building towards some permanent Berserker armor upgrade that lets Guts keep his edge without fully checking out. Right now it feels like a cool but limited lifeline, and I'm curious how Miura plans to scale that up. Isidro finally gets some time to shine, and it's about time. Dude bounces off of the boat, and the second that they hit land, he runs into Yzma. Easily the highlight of these chapters. They call her a Mero. She's basically a mermaid. It stays ambiguous for a bit, but by the end, it's confirmed she's legit merfolk. Her addition brings this fresh, whimsical energy to the group, and I'm really hoping she sticks with the crew long term. I feel like she'd shake up the group dynamic in a fun and unpredictable manner. And then we get this new plot thread about having a true name, which was a fairly interesting reveal. Magical beings have these secret names that can straight up hand someone control over them. Yzma was about to spill hers, but Evalera jumps in with this huge warning: never drop your true name unless you really trust the person. And the fact that it gets highlighted like that screams future payoff. You know that Miura is not planting a load loaded gun like that for nothing, and I'm locked in to see how this control mechanic plays out down the line, especially if there was some type of betrayal plot. Beyond that, the volume's mostly set up for the big sea god spectacle. The pirate plot finally seems wrapped up, you know, fingers crossed, and now all of the other Marrows are rolling up because of some old folklore about them fighting this thing back in the day. It's turning into this proper oceanic showdown, and it feels like we're increasing the scale a bit. Isidro and Yzma's possible romance plot feels okay for now. It's fun banter, and it gives him something personal to fight for, and you know, he's pulling off cooler moves against the pirates now, starting to hold his own instead of just being that comic relief character. The focus shifting to his growth feels earned, and I'm rooting for him to step up as a real warrior instead of the scrappy sidekick. This deluxe edition closes out with the sea god rising from the island like it's the final boss. One last big scrap before we dive deeper into the core of the Fantasia arc. After the pirate padding, I'm more than ready for the story to hit that next gear and start unpacking what this merged world actually means for Guts and the crew. Miura teased too much potential to keep us lingering on this part for too long. But yeah, I think that's everything that I got for you guys in this video. And if there's anything that I missed in this video, feel free to let me know in the comments. I really can't wait for what the Fantasia arc has to bring. After the end of the Millennium Falcon arc, we get this sick imagery, and I want to see more of that. Hopefully when we finally reach Elfhelm, we'll get to dive deeper into Miura's more creative vision for where the Berserk story is going. I just find it so incredibly interesting that where we started off in the story with everything being normal and Guts meeting Griffith for the first time as kids, you know, to where we are now. I'm just really excited for where Miura is actually moving the story. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a future upload, and I will see you in the next video. You still here?